Hello YouTube. So in the last tutorial we discussed this little script which will help you to get into MySQL server and based on this list to create automatically couple of these databases, because you don't need to type these things manually. Just save yourself a couple of minutes or seconds, whatever. So I just realized that we can just turn this create into the job database, and this script will be actually universal type of script that will execute these simple commands. Now if this is your first time watching this independently from other tutorials on my channel, if you don't have this module, what you need to type in your command prompt, terminal, whatever you have, you can just type pip install MySQL connector Python, and then after that you will have this thing on your machine, don't worry. So this is just status reports, and this is actual command. Now when you have this module, which is crucial here, we can change just this create into drop, but before that first we must populate our server with actual databases to have something to work with, to practice. So run module, and in a split of a second, well, not a split of a second, 4 or 5 seconds, something like that, the thing will be done, and I'm expecting that prompt here. Okay, so let's check manually the stuff in a database, in a server, show databases, and there you go, we have these individual databases automatically created. So let's say you have 10 of these, 100 of these databases, I don't know what you're doing, so just define that list either from either directly hard-coded stuff, or through keyboard, or through, you can extract stuff from file, and then just type drop here. And now when you run this script again, let me pull this out, when you run this stuff, there you go, just a second, we are expecting that prompt, the thing will be done, actual databases will be automatically deleted. So now if you type show databases, see, everything is cleared and back to default stuff that you have after you have installed MySQL server on your Windows machine. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. So if you're a beginner, let's explain what these code do. As I said, we need this module and also time module that you have with default Python installation, because we wanna give our server a little bit of time to breathe. So this is not advanced like error checking, this is just very simple stuff, but in most cases when you're practicing, this will get the job done, because if something goes wrong, then you will see errors here, red ones, so you will pay attention to what's going on and maybe search for other solutions, maybe perhaps manually. Anyway, so this is the part where you define data for connection to actual server, like what's the IP, domain, what user you have, username, and what is the password, which is in this case ultra secure, no one can break it, and also who cares about the root level of access, because we are hackers and stuff, yeah, whatever. And then we are printing things on a screen, exactly this, okay, these messages. And yeah, so after we are done with that, we need to position virtually kinda through script cursor, well, right here. So this is basically substitution for me typing things here manually. And then we have that couple of databases, names for databases actually in a list. See, this is a list, and then we are using for loop to go through that list, and individually for that specific abstract x, which represents individual databases, names for databases, we are using that specific command. It can be create database, drop database, but it can also be used with a little bit of changes to delete automatically tables. Yeah, it depends what you're doing. So just remember that when you're creating these kind of requests to the server, here you need to have one space, because that's what you need to do if you wanna everything to work fine. Now if you have this concatenated, then for example, Slavoj will be concatenated immediately with the database, and then that will turn into error. Let me actually show that. So yeah, let's save our script, and let me pull this here. So let's run our module, and there you go, we have these very interesting red lines. Basically, just when you're doing this kind of stuff, always think about spaces and be very careful, you know. So you're probably practicing, that's cool, but if you are doing some serious stuff, don't use a lot of scripts if you don't know what exactly they're doing. Better idea is to learn how to do stuff manually, because that means that you exactly know what you're doing. You don't want to run into problems, especially on other people, service businesses and production and so on. So play around with your own stuff, but you know, do stuff manually if you understand what you're doing in real life, in the real world, where you are creating money or creating for another people. I don't know what you're doing basically, but yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Relatively short tutorial, nothing special here. And as you know, I'm in process of putting my scripts through YouTube videos on, so other people can grab it and expect hundreds of these in future months. So yep, that's it. Thank you for watching as always, and see you next tutorial.